Do you love a repository on GitHub and want to contribute? Do you want to know what forking is and how you can use it to make a pull request? Do you even know what any of that means? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you're in the right place. Welcome to my channel. My name is Raheel Junaid, and today we'll be talking about how you can contribute to GitHub projects by forking and making pull requests. Recall that a repository is a code base containing folders and files that you might want to add your work to, or you might want to modify. What's common about these repositories is that you can take them and use them as your own starting point for your own project. To make them your own project, you need to make a personal copy while also maintaining a bridge between the two repositories, because if the original repository updates, then you want to get those same updates, or maybe not, but you have the control over that. You also want to have that bridge so that when you want to actually contribute to that project, then you're able to by having it automatically linked together. Now just remember, I could have just used these pieces of paper to explain this to you, but I chose not to. Instead, I'm going to use my Deadpools. So, we start with wanting to contribute to the other person's repository. So this is what we call their upstream repository on GitHub. So this is not attached to your account in any way. We'll attach this to this Deadpool. And then we have your repository, which hasn't been made yet, but can be made through forking. So this repository has now been made because you were able to fork this guy's repository. So now there's a link that's connecting these two together. And that link, like I said, allows you to make pull requests and get new changes from the upstream repository and put them into your repository. So how do you edit the code here, you may ask? You edit the code here by cloning this repository and putting it on your computer and putting it into any text editor like you usually would. So let's do that now. So now you make your changes to that repository, and now this is your changes or your code. So now you can take this code and push it to your hosted repository on GitHub. So now that you have your code on your hosted repository, GitHub is just going to be like, hey, do you want to... Gosh, I'm not using these Deadpools again. Do you want to make a new pull request? If you're not familiar with what a pull request is, it basically allows you to merge your changes or your code to the upstream repository or the repository you were trying to update and change their code right here. So to do that, you would make a new pull request, and that would take your code and send it to this upstream repository's administrator, and they would be like, hey, we like your code, we're going to make it into our code. And then your code becomes their code. So now you've committed changes to the upstream repository. So here's the repository we're going to be forking today. Basically, this one's called the Octocat Spoon Knife repository, which is actually their official example repository for forking and cloning. I'm just going to go to the top right where it says fork, and then I have my own personal copy. And you can see that it's your own personal copy, because if you go up on the top left corner, you'll see instead of Octocat, you'll see your own username. In this case, this is my username. And then the actual name of the repository, and all of the same files are here. So, like I said, we need to edit this code, or we want to make a contribution. We can just click on the code button, and you can choose the protocol you want to clone from. Usually it's going to be HTTPS by default. So you're just going to click on HTTPS then, and then click on the copy button. And that's just going to copy this text right here for you. Then we can have it head over to our terminal. So we can git clone this repository by just typing git. Make sure you have git installed for this. And typing in clone, and then pasting in the command you have. And you can see that it's cloned it. So if I go into the repository by changing directory, so cd, and I'll just do cd spoon knife, and now I'm in the repository. Now I can make whatever changes I want, so let's see what files we have here. I'm going to use the Vim editor, but you guys can use Visual Studio Code or whatever you guys want to use. Basically, this was meant to edit index.html. Instead of fork you, I'll just change it to fork I. I don't know, terrible grammar. I'll save that. And those changes have been made, so if I check out what's on index.html, and it says fork me, fork I. I'll do git add index.html. I'll do git commit -m for message, change grammar to be incorrect. And you see, that's made a commit. Now we can push it to the actual remote repository. Currently this is our code. Oh, this is a little bit bright. Yeah, currently this is our code on our computer. But we want to push that to our repository. Just do that by typing in git push. And now we're done with the terminal. And you can see I made a commit 1 minute ago that says change grammar to be incorrect. If I zoom in right here, that's what it looks like. So that's only on the index.html. But now it says this branch is 1 commit ahead of octocat main. So there's this little message on the top that says this branch is 1 commit ahead. And on the right side it says contribute. So if I just click on contribute and open pull request, now I can actually just open a pull request right from GitHub. We have our code changes right here. So you can see I changed fork U to fork I. I'll just create a pull request. I can add a little description saying why I should add this pull request. And one thing to note is when you are making a pull request, make sure not to make it too big. Otherwise, it's going to be a long code review process. And then I'll just say create pull request. You can create a draft pull request too if you like. I'll close the pull request for now because I know that they're not going to accept it. And there you go, pull request closed. So I'll head back to my repositories. I'll go into my account. And then go into the spoon knife repository I forked. And then I can just go to settings. I'll scroll all the way down into the danger zone, click delete this repository, and then type in the name of the repository. And then there you go. That repository has been deleted. But if we actually go back to the octocat spoon knife repository, you'll see that it's still there. Nothing's been deleted. Nothing's been changed. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And also hit that subscribe button if you want to get more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.